What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the QHTC Track Life. My name is Michael Montgomery, head coach and founder of the Quarter Horses Track Club. And if you are new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button and also hit that bell button so you can follow us as we journey through the 2022-23 track season. So in episode 2, I did a deep dive on how with the use of technology and data, we set our athletes up for long-term success. I also did a walkthrough of a software that we use called Port Coach. The Port Coach is an acronym for Progressive Overload and Recovery Training. It's a software that we use to track our athletes through their track career to ensure that they're hitting the standards that they need to hit on a consistent basis in order to hopefully, ideally, earn a college scholarship. I also talked about the relationship between events and energy systems and how the best coaches train towards energy systems and how your training regimen must match your race strategy. So if you didn't get a chance to check out episode 2, definitely take time to go back and view it. I'll have it down in the comments, especially if you like the relationship or you like to better understand the relationship between data and performance and sports performance. Definitely take time to go check it out. I kind of went into geek mode with it. I'm a nerd at heart, so it is definitely in my wheelhouse, and the information, hopefully you'll find it informational and somewhat enjoyable. So in this episode, I want to talk about benchmarking, what it is, how we use it, and the benefits or why it's important in sports development. So in a nutshell, benchmarking is measuring current performance against an established known. So for us, the athletes established known will be last year's last benchmark. Now, depending on the club or the program that you're coming from or that you're in, coaches may use benchmarking and time trials synonymously, but they're not the same. Time trials is essentially a process of elimination in regards to the athletes. And what I mean by that is for clubs who have relays, if you have more than 4 athletes on a relay, then you need to have some form or some mechanism in order to identify the top 4 runners that you want to put on the primary relay, and that's usually the time trials. If you look at high schools, because most high school meets limit the amount of entries you can have on a given event, what the high school coaches will often do is have a time trial, which will help them identify the athletes that they want to allocate towards an event. So in general, a time trial is a form or is a process or a tool that you can use to identify, I don't want to say eliminate, that's probably too negative of a term, but just athletes that you want to allocate to a particular time or to a particular event. On the other hand, benchmarking is a form of measurement that's used in fitness. And again, it is how you establish a baseline for progress. So in regards to the quarter horses, we benchmark 2 energy systems, ATP and the anaerobic, which ATP is anaerobic. It's a subset of anaerobic, but those are the 2 energy systems that we benchmark. The way we benchmark those energy systems is by 4 events. The first event is the 60-meter dash. The second event is the vertical jump. The third event is the 4 jump. And then the last event is the deadlift. For the 60-meter dash, we're measuring acceleration and velocity. For the vertical jump, we're measuring power output, central nervous system. And for the 4 jumps, we're measuring reaction and your central nervous system, which reaction is a product of your central nervous system. And for the deadlift, we're measuring velocity. Once we gather all the information from the benchmarking session, we take that information and I begin to build a training plan. Initially, when all the athletes come back, we're in the phase of what we call general prep. So in the general prep phase is basically you're training to train. So you're really not necessarily doing track specific stuff, but you're just preparing your body in order to start training for track. You're trying to fix your any muscle imbalances. You're trying to develop the energy systems that require the most amount of time to develop. And you're just trying to prepare the athlete's body accordingly for the rigors of training for a track and field. So once we gather all the information from our time trial session, we have to store it somewhere. So again, this is the app we use. This is the part of the app that we use when we're actually at the track. So we go in here and we create a time trial. Time trial 1 2022. We assign a date to it, 210. Yes, we did the 60, the vertical jump, velocity, and reaction time. You have to set the reps. I'm going to do a couple of them. I needed to do this anyway. Behind. I'm a little bit behind. Go here, complete. Let's go. Hannah. She ran a 9.91 for her first rep and a 9.70 for her. Oh, can't cheat my girl. Say that. Let's go, Gabby. She ran 8.58 and she ran 9.06. Let's go, Layla. She ran 8.44 and she ran 8.41. Excuse me. Okay, so this is how we enter our information. What we do is we take this information, and this helps me to build our yearly training plan. Hey, before we get to the video, I want to take a second. I would be remiss if I didn't send a brief shout out to my wife, Leslie, who takes the time to record these videos, who walks around at practice recording the athletes. So I wanted to say thank you and appreciate you for taking the time and doing this. Setting up a timing system so we can time the athlete 60-meter dash. Your vertical, which is the product of their power output. Then we'll measure, they'll do 3 jumps and we'll measure how long it takes them to react. So that measures their central nervous system processing. Then for the older ones, we'll do deadlift with bands and we'll register, we use this little digital piece where we'll register power output. Load it! Better, 8.08. It's faster. This is getting faster. You still got some move. 9.75. Run to that, don't hit that, but run past that, okay? pay attention. The only thing I really care about on here is once you land, how quick you get off in 4 times. That tells me how fast your central nervous system is firing. 0.25. .78. Chest up, look up at the sky. Three, two, go. So in closing, for us, benchmarking is a critical tool in the quarter horse's artillery. Again, as I alluded to earlier, it helps us establish a training plan, or helps us to know what we need to focus on, especially during our general prep phase. So that's it for me for week 3. Again, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, please hit the like and subscribe, and also make sure to hit that bell button so you can follow us along as we journey through the 2022-2023 outdoor season. And until week 4, peace, love, and soul, and I see you at the track. Holla.
Oh, wait, you can't talk trash. What happened in football season? What happened in football season? Okay.
Oh, here we go.
I didn't care about football like that.
Shay. Dude, that's here. I hear Shay going on. Who Ola's son?
It has my name in it.
Bro, so here's what happened, right?
About what?
So here's what happened. I think it was a away game against Union Grove in basketball.
All right.
And we lost like bad. And then this dude pushed his side. He was like, Ola, what happened? That boy's dookie.
Oh,
They did that for real? It don't even matter. Huh?
It's all over.
It don't matter.
That was funny. Yeah, it's all over.
Who?
Hey,
And
when
you
we beat
reposted it.
When we
Yeah, she's so easy. All right. In the front? No, in the fight. In the fight.
Hold it.
This is boring. This is boring. This is boring as shit. God damn. You ran the exact same time you ran last time. Literally 9.76. You ran the exact same time. At least you consistent.
That's
That's what I'm doing exactly. I told you.
No. Didn't Coach Murray beat you on the Coach Murray beat you on the 1v1? Didn't Coach Murray beat you on the 1v1?
Right.
I'm just saying. He told me that he beat you in the 1v1. That's what I heard.
Murray?
I heard
You
that.
let Coach Murray
Coach Murray. The man with the bad shoulder and the bad knee. The one with the whole bad right side.